Venice has 118 islands, 400 bridges, and 0 cars. Your pizza arrives by boat. Your ambulance is a boat. Your garbage truck is a boat. The whole city floats on wooden stakes hammered into mud over 1,500 years ago, and somehow those stakes are still holding. Here's the engineering part nobody talks about. Those stakes don't rot because they're submerged in oxygen-free water. The mud actually petrified the wood into something closer to stone, but even petrified foundations can't fix what's happening above. Venice is sinking, 1 to 2 millimeters per year, while the Adriatic keeps climbing. Aqua Alta floods hit around 10 times a year in the 1900s. Now it's over 60 times annually. Italy spent over 6 billion euros and 20 years building the Meuse barrier system, 78 giant steel gates on the seafloor, just to hold the water back. The permanent population has collapsed from 175,000 in 1950 to around 55,000 today. On peak days, tourists easily outnumber the locals, making the streets nearly impassable. The city now charges a €5 entry fee just to walk through it. Think about that. A city so overwhelmed by visitors that it literally charges admission like a theme park. Venice isn't weird because it's built on water. It's weird because it still exists at all. Whittier, Alaska, presents the exact opposite problem. Not too many people, but an entire town crammed into one building. Baggage Towers houses roughly 200 of the town's 220 residents. Your neighbor is directly above you. The police station is on another floor. The school connects through a tunnel because kids can't walk outside when winds rip through at 100 kilometers per hour carrying sideways snow. This building was originally a Cold War military barracks constructed in 1957, designed to house soldiers monitoring Soviet activity. The military left. The people didn't. To reach Whittier by land, you drive through a single one-lane tunnel carved straight through a mountain. It's the longest highway tunnel in North America at 4 kilometers, and traffic alternates directions on a fixed schedule. Miss the last time slot and you're sleeping in your car until morning. Winter dumps 6 meters of snow annually. The grocery store, the post office, your doctor, everything is one elevator ride away. It's not really a town, it's a vertical village wedged between a glacier and the ocean, and people chose to live here. On purpose. Coober Pedy is an Australian outback settlement that went entirely underground to escape surface temperatures hitting 50 degrees Celsius. Residents simply carved their homes straight into sandstone hills. They call them dugouts. These underground houses stay between 22 and 24 degrees year-round, with 0 air conditioning and 0 heating bills. The insulation is literally the earth itself. The town has underground churches, an underground bookshop, and even underground hotels. Above ground, it looks like Mars. Red dirt, no trees, rusted mining equipment scattered everywhere, and thousands of open mine shafts that nobody fenced off. Watch your step, seriously. Coober Pedy produces 70% of the world's gem-quality opals, which is the only reason anyone settled here in the first place. The name comes from Aboriginal words Coober Pedy, meaning hole in the ground. Population is around 1,700. There's a golf course, but no grass. You carry a small square of turf with you and tee off from that. You play at night with glow-in-the-dark balls because daytime rounds would be genuinely dangerous in that heat. Mad Max and other post-apocalyptic movies filmed here because the production teams showed up, looked around, and realized they didn't need to change a single thing. Dungeness is a flat, treeless shingle peninsula poking into the English Channel, often called Britain's only desert. Here, 2 giant nuclear reactors tower over scattered wooden shacks and abandoned fishing boats. It looks like someone photoshopped a power plant onto a post-apocalyptic beach and forgot to add civilization. The filmmaker Derek Jarman built a famous garden here in the shadow of the reactor using driftwood, scavenged metal, and salt-resistant plants, because almost nothing grows naturally in the coastal wind. A miniature railway runs through the whole landscape, chugging past the reactor and the fishermen's huts for no reason anyone can properly explain. Those huts technically have no planning permission because nobody ever imagined that someone would actually want to live here. But artists did. Photographers, filmmakers, musicians. They moved into the shacks precisely because Dungeness looks like nowhere else on Earth. It sits in Kent, officially called the Garden of England. That irony writes itself. Monaco is an entire country smaller than Central Park. 2 square kilometers housing 39,000 people, making it the most densely populated nation on Earth. When you run out of land, you just build more of it. Monaco has expanded 20% since the 1960s through land reclamation. The current Portier Cove project is creating luxury real estate from ocean floor at hundreds of millions of euros per hectare. Average apartment price runs about 53,000 euros per square meter. A single parking space sold for 560,000 euros. Let me say that again. A parking space. More than a house in most countries. The Formula One Grand Prix races through actual city streets, past actual apartment balconies where residents watch from their living rooms holding champagne. 1 in 3 residents is a millionaire. There's no income tax, which honestly explains most of it. You can walk across the entire country in under an hour, but you'll pass more Ferraris than trees along the way. The architecture stacks upward because there's nowhere else to go. Buildings are carved into cliffsides, layered on top of parking structures, cantilevered over the harbor. It's basically a vertical luxury resort that somehow got a seat at the United Nations. Reykjavik is a capital city heated by volcanoes. The whole place sits on a geological hotspot that pumps geothermal energy into 90% of homes. Hot water runs beneath the streets, keeping sidewalks ice-free through winter. Turn on the tap and it smells faintly like sulfur, but it's some of the cleanest water on the planet. The skyline is dominated by Hallgrímskirkja, a church shaped like volcanic basalt columns stretched into a tower, and almost nothing around it competes for attention. No skyscraper wars here. The houses are corrugated iron, painted every color imaginable because imported wood was too expensive and stone too heavy to ship over. Walk through the old town district and it feels like someone spilled a box of crayons across a fishing village. Population of the capital is 140,000. Population of the entire country is 380,000. There are more puffins in Iceland than people. Beer was illegal here until 1989. The former mayor of Reykjavik once showed up to an official ceremony dressed as a Jedi. I mean, full robes and everything. He was also a comedian with zero political experience who won on a joke platform. Reykjavik isn't trying to be weird, it just is. Because Iceland itself is basically a geological experiment that humans decided to live on anyway. Longyearbyen sits at 78 degrees north on the Svalbard archipelago, making it the northernmost permanent settlement on Earth where things get truly intense. Because the permafrost preserves everything perfectly, traditional burials are no longer permitted due to historical health concerns. If someone requires serious medical care, they are transferred to the mainland. The town has 2,500 people, 4 months of complete darkness, 4 months where the sun never sets, and more polar bears than humans in the surrounding area. You are legally required to carry wildlife protection gear when you leave town limits. Restaurants and bars keep polar bear deterrents by the door like coat racks. There's a global seed vault blasted into the mountainside storing 1.1 million seed samples in case civilization falls apart. Cats are banned because they threaten Arctic bird populations. You need a signed job contract before you can move here. But anyone from any country on Earth can live here visa-free under the Svalbard Treaty of 1920. Comment below which of these places you'd actually live in, because I genuinely want to know. A place where you can't be buried, can't own a cat, must carry wildlife protection gear, and literally anyone in the world can show up and stay. Normal stuff. Nördlingen is a perfectly circular medieval town in Germany built directly inside a meteor crater. 15 million years ago, an asteroid slammed into Bavaria at 70,000 kilometers per hour and left a 25-kilometer wide crater called the Ries. Nördlingen was built right in the center of it. The town walls form an almost perfect circle, still completely intact, and you can walk the entire 2.7-kilometer ring on top of them. From above, the geometry is almost unsettling, too perfect, too round, like someone drew it with a compass. But here's where it gets truly unreal. The church tower, St. George's, was constructed using suivite, a rock formed directly by the meteor impact. That suivite contains millions of microscopic diamonds, created by the extreme heat and pressure of the asteroid strike. The entire church is encrusted with real diamonds, and nobody knew for centuries. You can climb the tower for a few euros and press your hands against walls made of space rocks containing actual diamonds. The town was so perfectly circular and dramatically walled that it is widely believed to be the visual inspiration for the city in Attack on Titan. A cosmic collision 15 million years ago created the most perfectly shaped medieval town in Europe. Accidentally building a diamond church in the center of it? That's not weird. That's poetic. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.